Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to change a microwave over the range microwave. So mine has failed, and I think it failed. It turns on when I open the door. So I got a new one and I'm going to install it. So the first thing you're going to do is these over the range ones, you're going to need to get above it. So there's the receptacle. We're going to unplug it. And then there's these two screws. There's one here and one here. Now, when you take those out, it's going to tilt towards you. Usually there's like a little rail back here up against the wall. It rests on that rail and then it tilts towards you. So when I'll have somebody help me, I'll take those two screws out and then it's going to tilt towards me. Okay, so they're really long. Okay, so it's really heavy. Make sure you're holding it. It's going to tilt down. And then at the same time, you got to feed that cord through. So there's the rail that it sits on. Hopefully we're going to be able to reuse that rail, but we may not be able to. So depending on how yours was configured, so my exhaust for the fan comes up in the front here. I originally had it coming out the back here, but we had to change it. Okay, so I've got a Magic Chef that I'm going to be installing. Here's that bracket. Now this bracket is different than the one that's up there, so I will have to install this bracket. So I'm going to show you step by step how to install this microwave. I've got my helper, Miss Fiona. She has to be right where I'm at helping. Okay, so it comes with these two templates. Unfold these. This is the wall template. This is going to tell us where we need to put the holes, where this bracket needs to go. But also just as important is the top cabinet template. So those two screws we took out from the top, they may or may not be in the same spot. So we've got to use this. We may have to drill new holes in our cabinet. Okay, so the first template I'm going to do is the cabinet template. Now if we look at the pictures, we want this to go this way. So originally I thought you would put that piece of paper up here, but that's not the case. It's to go like this. And you got to turn it upside down. And it's going to go right this. So I've got to put a different, like that's the hole for the plug. Well, the hole for the plug now is different. It's right here. So over here I have that. This is the top of the microwave. So just take your template and line it up. See how you're going to have it upside down? There's the opening for the hole, for the plug. And there's where your long screw is going to go. And that's where that there is. So if we look at it like this, and then we just transfer this over and put it upside down in the cabinet, that's how we're going to drill the holes. So again, here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to put this up against the wall all the way there, and then that's where I'm going to drill my holes. Okay, so you're going to need an 1.5-inch hole saw. I took the screws out, so I took those screws out that were holding that other bracket, and I'm going to drill my hole. I've got it marked. Okay, so next it wants a 5/8 hole right here. So I measured it from the back. So there's the hole for the electrical plug, there's the hole to mount it, and I got to drill my other one over here. Okay, so it talks about these filler blocks. It says you're going to need a filler block, and that's something to go right here with the same size hole. So I've got these, that's almost 3/4 of an inch thick for my cabinet to kind of bring it up flush. Okay, so I've got the holes drilled. Now I got this old bracket removed. I'm going to be putting on this new bracket. But this is what I'll use this template for. Okay, so you're going to put the template up in the cabinet. Make sure it's flush up against the back. And then those were where your holes. Now you want to try to hit a 2x4. My 2x4 is right here. I marked it. And so you're going to get the old bracket, or the new bracket, and that's where the new bracket's going to go. The holes line up right there and there. Okay, you're going to want to get a little level, put it on there, make sure this bracket is level. Okay, so on mine, I'm only going to be able to hit the 2x4 in one place. So I'm going to have to use these special fasteners. These will require a bigger hole, but the place that I can go into a 2x4, I'm going to use this. So for these, I need to drill a 5/8 hole. I'm going to try to get away with a 1/2 inch hole. Okay, so this next step is a very important step. You're gonna put your bracket up here. You wanna mark these holes that you drilled. You gotta remember which, okay, so there it's lined up. So I'm gonna put it in this one and this one. Okay, so now the reason this was so important is because you're only gonna get one chance at doing this. Once these spring and go into your drywall, you're not gonna be able to retrieve them. So you gotta put, there's the bolts you're gonna put. These are for these ones with the big flat washer, that's for up above, going down in the top with those washers. So get these, you're gonna put it through the bracket first. Put it through the bracket and then screw this wing nut on, or this wing onto it. Okay, so take note. This is how this, you gotta go through the bracket, and here's how you're gonna collapse these, and then you're gonna push them into the drywall. And then when they go in behind the drywall, they're gonna expand, and then you gotta tighten this down, and that's gonna tighten down to the inside of the drywall. I'll be able to get onto a stud on this one, and I gotta do the same one, so make sure you get both of them installed, and now we're gonna put it up here. I've got my holes drilled, and you're just gonna force that through that little hole there. You gotta collapse those wings. Okay, so you're gonna collapse these like this. Then you're gonna push it into the drywall. And same on this side. Collapse these onto itself like that, and then push them into the drywall. And once they're in there, those wings will expand, and then you won't be able to get it out, and then we're gonna tighten these down. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so now we're gonna tighten these down. You may have to pull the bolt towards you a little bit to get it to grab. Now don't tighten it all the way, because we've got a lot of slop in this. We want to make sure this is nice and level. And then we're going to do the same for this one. You may have to pull on it a little bit. Okay, leave it a little sloppy. And then we're going to put the level back on it. Okay, so while this is sloppy, we're going to put the level back on it. And then I've got the one marked for my 2x4. So I'll put the 2x4 one in, make sure it's level, and then I'll tighten these down. Okay, so I've got all my screws tight, and I rechecked, and it's level. I did drill just a little pilot hole where the one goes for the 2x4. So I used a 1/8 drill bit to drill just a little hole into the 2x4. Okay, so now I'm fortunate. I don't have a vent outside, so I'm gonna leave all of this installed. This is so it's gonna vent out the front here when you turn the fan on. If you want it to go out to a certain duct, you'll have to redo all of this duct work here. Take those off, make sure it lines up. Okay, so I've got my little spacers here. There, I'm gonna have to put these up while I'm putting the microwave up. Got my tools ready. These are the bolts, these are the screws with the washer. See how that's got a countersink there? That's gonna go through this hole and into the microwave. So I'm gonna rest the microwave on this bracket, and then I'm gonna tilt it up and put those screws in. Okay, so you can see it makes quite a mess, and I'll show you the mistakes I made. So I didn't realize it, but so this hole went fine, but this one on this side is a different. I thought it was the same as this one. I measured from the back and from the side. Well, over here it's a little bit farther in. It's the same distance. So I tried to put the hole there and it didn't go. So you got to screw those down, and now you're ready to plug it in. And keep in mind, my cabinets are 15 inches. This microwave is a little smaller. It only extends 14.5 inches from the back wall, which isn't a big deal, except I'm using this. This is where the exhaust is going to come out. So when my cabinets are closed, it's going to hit that cabinet and kind of shoot this way towards me. But I was hoping it would stick out a little bit farther. It seems like most microwaves are the same left to right, and up. This one's actually a little bit smaller up down too. So, and it doesn't stick out as far, and the plate area is super small. So this was out of our old microwave, and this is our new microwaves area. So quite a bit difference. Okay, so here's what it looks like. I wish this hole was farther back, because that's gonna make when you put stuff up here, it's gonna hit that cable. But here's what the top looks like. Here's what it's got, like a green display. Open it up. So let's do vent. So it's got some pretty good vent fan. It's got low, high, low, and off. Okay, so here's what it sounds like when it's running. It does turn the fan on when it's running. Okay, so I'll do a separate review on a review of this, but here's how the install. So check out my next video on how you use this microwave. Thanks everybody for watching.